From Charleston Police Chief Greg Mullen retiring as Police Chief in August to the latest on the development in the Maryville-Ashleyville neighborhoods of West Ashley, City of Charleston Councilmember Peter Shahid speaks exclusively to me for the special edition of Quintin's Close-Ups. Councilman Peter.
Yes, sir.
It is so good to see you.
It's good to see you again.
Always.
Thank you.
I always see you around Broad Street and whatnot, and here's your office here. And right next door, there's a blockbuster news going on right now.
Yep.
Mayor John Tecklenburg's statement on Chief Greg Mullen's retirement after a 35-year career in law enforcement. Where does your mind go to when you think of Chief Mullen?
Professional, top-notch, caring, good guy.
And obviously, as you know, John Tecklenburg, the mayor, says that there's going to be a national search for the next police chief. What in your mind says that the next police chief should have what you're looking for and what City Council is looking for?
Well, I think that we're all happy and encouraged by the level of professionalism that he brought to the department. I think he's got good deputies in his department and good line officers in the department. I think that the police has done a wonderful job. And I think that we should use as a benchmark the investigation they had on the Dillon Roof case. I mean, they identified, they jumped on that case, they made an arrest in 2 days. You think about how they put that together. And of course, the federal government was involved in the investigation, but still, they knew exactly what to do. They did it, and they did it with a high level of professionalism.
Wow. And so, when you think back to the public safety search for a new, public safety director, obviously, City Council wanted to have that, and most of the council members, as you know, were pushing back against that. Yeah. Does that still stand in your mind?
I think what I want is that a top tier professional in that field, someone to carry on sort of the same criteria agenda that Chief Mullen had. Sure. I've said this 1,000 times. Our number one job in city government is to protect our citizens. And so that comes with the fire department, that comes with the police department, to protect our citizens, our businesses, to protect our streets. Everything else that we do will fall apart if we don't have safe streets. And we've done that, and I think we've done that very well. And I want that to continue.
Yes, indeed. You talk about, unfortunately, Dillon Roof. As you know, this week will be the 2-year anniversary of the Maryville tragedy.
Yes.
Where are you emotionally still 2 years later?
Number one, I look to the families of how they reacted to all of this. Right. And within days of his arrest, we just talked about, they forgave this guy. And I think that's our benchmark with them. I'm sad to think that something of that magnitude happened in our city. And I never thought ever that would happen in our city. Right. I don't have any solace that the guy who was convicted of doing this crime came from out of Charleston. He was a South Carolinian. He was an American, and that still pains me. I keep a list of those victims in my car every day, and I look at that list regularly as a reminder that we have a lot of work to do in this city and a lot of work to do in this country about eliminating hate. And it's still there.
Yes, indeed. You talk about victims. Let me go to your district, West Ashley. Okay. Coming up this Saturday and Sunday, the 10-year anniversary of the Soul Superstore fire.
Yes.
Talk to me about your memories of that particular event.
I remember that like it was yesterday. And I was on the phone talking to somebody who was also, I was downtown, and this other person was West Ashley, and they said, oh my God, there's a black smoke in the sky. I can see it all the way from my home. And as that unraveled and the stories became apparent, I was worried about people who I knew who were in that fire department. I was a very active member of the Knights of Columbus at the time. Right. Chief Raymond Lloyd was inside the building. I knew of other men who were affiliated with the Knights of Columbus who were firemen. I was concerned about their safety because we didn't know the names of those who perished until the day after. So in my mind, I was thinking, I was really concerned. I had not heard who had died. So my number one concern was, of course, the men who did die in the fire, and then whether or not I was going to know any of them personally. So that still sticks in my head. That event sticks in my head as if it was yesterday. It's just a tragedy of proportions that we just should not experience ever again by any of our city personnel.
Yeah. Let me move from Savannah Highway down to the Maryville-Ashleyville
Right.
area. As you know, this article came out from Channel 4 just a couple of days ago. It says this quote, "It's becoming a growing debate west of the Ashley. Those who live in the historic Maryville-Ashleyville community are voicing concerns about how a private land deal nearby could impact their cost of living. City council members say that developers with Crescent Homes have played by all of the rules." And of course you have State Representative Wendell Gilliard, who basically said, no, they're not.
Yep.
What concerns do you have in your mind right now about this new development?
Well, first of all, I am glad that people are now paying attention to West Ashley. And I have always said that West Ashley's been ignored and neglected far too long. That's why I ran for city council.
Right.
So now we're getting some attention. We went through this exercise with Ashley Hall Plantation,
Right.
and the neighbors' reaction to the development of the last 44 acres of Ashley Hall Plantation. Unfortunately, the Maryville-Ashleyville area has been one of the best kept secrets of West Ashley. Part of that falls into my district. I've talked to several of the residents out there. This is a gem of a piece of land. The historical significance of this should not be lost on us. This area was the first community that had self-government as a predominantly black neighborhood, and they had their own city, their own government, their own police department. The area out there is connected to Charlestown Landing,
Right.
so the immense historical significance of this should not be lost. This area is not a suburb. This area is an area that has been owned by people and their families for generations,
Right.
and they don't want to be displaced. I understand that. That's important for us to take recognition of and acknowledge that. So how can we do anything better to help them? Unfortunately, we protect private ownership. A company or individual who buys land, they're entitled to do something with that land as long as that is within the confines of ordinances and zoning and other government regulations. And the property that we're talking about, which is a trailer park, that property has been downzoned to a more restrictive use. So we're protecting it indirectly by making it more regulatory on what can be built on there. You cannot put multiple family houses on that property. It's going to be single family residence, which is more restrictive.
Okay.
It's not going to be commercial.
Mm.
It's not going to be limited business. It's going to be homes. And the lot lines are going to have to be somewhat regulated because of an agreement when they came into the city, and the lot lines had to be of a certain dimension. So we're going to do that. Aside from the current property owners or the previous property owners putting an easement on this property, or a restricted covenant on this property so it can't be developed at all, what else can you do?
Mm.
I mean, it's a rhetorical question, unfortunately, but what can you do? Developers buy land to develop, and we rely on developers because we want houses to be built. Now, the side question with all this is the city just passed a referendum to approve a $20 million bond bill to be placed in front of the voters in November. That's to be that $20 million bond referendum is there to build affordable and sustainable housing. So that's what we need to tap into. And what I said at city council meeting was this: we got to quit looking at just downtown as a site for affordable housing. That we need to look at West Ashley. And here's a perfect opportunity for the Revitalization Commission to grab a hold of this issue to help identify areas that we can construct affordable housing. And if we can do that in the Maryville-Ashleyville area, that's a prime location to do that. It's a perfect candidate for the property to be developed to provide affordable housing for folks in the city. And that's what we should be doing.
And obviously I've gotten a lot of emails from, certain former politicians and whatnot. What's fact and what's fiction in your mind when it comes to the Maryville-Ashleyville development?
Well, I know this. There was a private owner had it. He entered into an agreement to somebody else to sell it, and they did it. I don't know what else they think happened that was underhanded or not properly done. The city was not involved in the negotiations of that property. We agreed on petition to downzone it. We did that. So I'm not sure what else could have been done at that particular point to change anything along those lines. I mean, like I said, you can't stop the transfer of property from one private person to another private person. That's going to happen.
And let me get back to the revitalization of West Ashley. If you were to lay out that blueprint again, that is, what would you add to that plan?
I don't know right now. I'm waiting for the study to be printed and reported and presented to the commission. What I got out of the charrettes and the workshops was a tremendous amount of enthusiasm and tremendous amount of ideas about how to revitalize West Ashley, from housing to transportation to parks to economic development, and a lot of great ideas came from that. So the question is going to be tied up in making that feasible to implement. There's some things that we can do now. For instance, we've been holding off on creating a subcommittee to deal with cultural and historical components. The Maryville-Ashleyville area is a perfect example of why we need to have that subcommittee. Because we need to be identifying the areas in West Ashley which have significant historical value. I mentioned Ashley Hall Plantation, of course the Charleston Landing we all know about, Maryville-Ashleyville, but there are other points of interest with historical significance that we need to be identifying and starting to educate ourselves and the general population about those areas, and what can we do on a proactive basis to protect them.
Let me go back to the interview that I did with Councilman Seekings a couple of weeks ago, because obviously some of the city council members are having issues with the Charleston Area Justice Ministry.
Yes.
He says that social justice is really a good thing, but the motives as far as the Charleston Area Justice Ministry are questionable. You are a lawyer. What verdict would you give on the Charleston Area Justice Ministry?
Well, I wouldn't question their motives. I don't question their motives at all. I think they've got some legitimate issues and some legitimate concerns that need to be discussed, that need to be brought to the table, and I think we need to be honest and open with that. I've met with them. I've offered to meet with them again. I think I've got a good dialogue with them. I want to continue that. The issues at hand dealing with the city police department, I think, are not so pronounced as it may be with other police departments in the Tri-County area. Now, is there racism by individuals who may or may not wear a uniform? I'm sure there is. Is there a systematic issue with the Charleston City Police Department on racism? I don't think there is. I haven't seen anything to indicate that is what's happened. So if the goal is to address police practices as a policy, I don't think you're going to find that in the City of Charleston Police Department's practices. Are there police officers who act that way? I suspect there probably are. You know, I can't speak for every police officer out there. They're like lawyers. There's some very good lawyers. There's some mediocre lawyers. There's some bad lawyers. I mean, there's some good doctors. There's some bad doctors. Some mediocre doctors. It happens in every profession, and that's why you have to have accountability to make sure that everybody stays in line and meets that standard that we all expect police officers to have, to be highly professional, to be highly ethical, and to be highly moral. We want that in our police officers. And I think for the large part, that is what you see in the city police department. They have that reputation. I've been practicing law for 35 years. Have I run across some police officers whose motives and tactics were questionable? Yes. Have I seen it on a system-wide basis with the city of Charleston? No. So, but do I want to answer and address the concerns that the Charleston Area Justice Ministry is putting up? Absolutely. And I think we need to do that. And how we go to do that is we've got to have open dialogue and open-mindedness from everybody on addressing those particular issues. And that's what's important to me.
Well, Councilmember Peter Shahid, thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate this.
Thank you. Anytime. Appreciate it.
Yes,
Thank you.